Once you join the Slay Queens, there is no getting out, unhurt. Then it clicked. She had heard that Destiny Carter used to be a part of the Ponytail gang, but left because of a boy. So your little feelings are hurt because she chose a boy over being a Slay Queen? Well, I don't want to be part of this sick. Aaliyah struck Nia hard. Who do you think you are? You're just a nobody whose own mother couldn't even stand you. The fight boiled over too fast. Shouting, shoving, a blur of arms as Nia attempted to defend herself. One girl was hard enough after all, she wasn't a fighter, but 4 crazy teenage girls? She didn't stand a chance. She felt a hard shove to her chest. Nia stumbled back, tripped against the hearth, and struck her head hard on the stone. She crumpled, motionless to the rug. Blood pouring from the back of her head. Sierra screamed, clutching her mouth. Marisol backed away, wide-eyed. Kayla's voice came out flat, horrified. "Shit! What did we do?" Kayla covered her mouth. It was an accident." "She's not moving," Marisol whispered. She's dead." Sierra collapsed to her knees, sobbing. "We didn't mean to. What do we do?" She gasped for air. "What do we do?" Aaliyah raised her hand sharply. "Quiet. Everyone. Let me think." The room hushed except for the fire's hiss. Aaliyah crouched over Nia, her jaw tight. She checked for a pulse, her eyes flicking cold and calculating. "She's gone. And if anyone finds her here, they'll never believe it was an accident. We'll all go down for this." Sierra shook her head. "We should call someone." Kayla cut in, voice panicked. "The cops will blame us. We're finished." Aaliyah's voice swiped like a blade. "No. We make it look like she left. We'll say she went out for a walk and never came back. We waited. We looked. We couldn't find her. Then we panicked and went home." "But that's a lie," Sierra yelled. "It's the only way." "Unless you want prison. Do you?" Aaliyah said. Sierra whimpered but shook her head. Aaliyah's gaze swept the group fierce. "Then we stick to the story. She went for a walk. She never came back. That's it. Say it." Marisol swallowed. "She went for a walk." Kayla's voice was steady. "She never came back." Sierra whispered through tears. "She never came back." Aaliyah nodded. "Good, my dad always says. If you say a lie enough times, you believe it." Her face drained pale but composed. "Now help me." The woods swallowed their flashlight beams, breath clouding in the cold. They dragged Nia's limp body just past the tree line, pine needles snagging her sleeves. Sierra's sobs hiccuped in the dark. Marisol kept whispering, oh my God," like a broken prayer. Kayla was silent, jaw locked. Aaliyah knelt, face set. "Here." She adjusted Nia's arm so it lay natural, like sleep. "She went for a walk. She never came back." "Say it," Marisol began. "She went for a walk." Kayla muttered, "She never came back." Sierra whispered, "She never came back." As the others turned to go, Aaliyah paused, eyes tracking the faint outline of Nia's backpack. In one smooth motion, she unzipped it, felt inside, and took the phone. The black rectangle disappeared into her pocket. She didn't tell them. "Let's move," she said, voice steady. "Now!" They hurried back toward the cabin, light bobbing, branches slapping their coats. Behind them, the darkness stitched itself closed. Sunday morning, the sunlight looked wrong, too bright, too ordinary, as they pulled into town. The SUV separated from the silence of the woods as if waking from a fever. They didn't speak much. Aaliyah kept her eyes on the road, running the story in her head like a clean loop of thread. Kayla stared out the window, stone-faced. Marisol picked at her nail polish until flecks littered her jeans. Sierra pressed a fist to her mouth, holding in a tremor that ran through her every few minutes. At the first light, Aaliyah said, "Calm and careful. Go home. Shower. Sleep. If anyone asks, she went for a walk yesterday and never came back. We thought she went home. That's it." Marisol nodded too fast. Kayla nodded once. Sierra's voice broke. "Aaliyah?" Aaliyah didn't look at her. "I said that's it," she snapped. Aaliyah dropped each girl home, the lie already cooling into stone. The house was too quiet. Nia's dad brewed coffee he didn't drink, checked the front window every few minutes, ran a dishcloth over a clean counter. He told himself she'd come through the door laughing about something silly they did. Any minute now. He checked his phone again. Last message from yesterday. "Nia, made it safe. We're here." His reply, "Glad you're safe. Have fun. Be careful. Call if you need me." The clock crawled. 2:10 p.m., 3:42 p.m., 4:31. By 6 p.m., he broke. He called Aaliyah first. "Hey, Aaliyah, it's Nia's dad. Is Nia still with you?" he asked. A beat. Aaliyah's voice arrived smooth, composed. "What?" "No, sir. She left yesterday afternoon. We thought she went home." His heart thudded. "Left? When? With who?" "Just with her backpack. She said she needed air. We figured she caught a ride. I'm sorry. I thought she was with you." He stared at the silent doorway. "She isn't." He hung up and called Marisol. She picked up on the second ring, breathless. No, I thought she went home. She left before dinner." She stopped, corrected fast. "No, after lunch, I mean. We were unpacking and—" He ended the call and dialed Sierra. Her voice was small. "Mr. Jones, I'm so sorry. I thought she left. She said she needed to clear her head. We didn't think—" "You didn't call me!" His voice ripped out harsher than he intended. "None of you called me!" Sierra's breath hitched. She whimpered. I'm sorry." He hung up, palms slick, stomach dropping through the floor. He didn't trust his legs to carry him. He sat before he fell and pressed 3 numbers. 911, what's your emergency? My daughter never came home. She was on a trip with friends. They say she left yesterday and never came back. The dispatcher's questions came gentle and practiced. Name, age, last known location. What was she wearing? Any medical conditions? Nia's father answered like he was underwater. Within an hour, 2 officers were at the door. Flashing lights washed the living room walls blue. "We're going to file a missing person report, Mr. Jones," one said, taking notes. "We'll start with her friends." "They said she went for a walk," he muttered, voice fraying, "and never came back." I don't believe that for a split second. The officers exchanged a look that said too many things at once. At their respective homes, each girl sat at a kitchen table under a different kind of light. Fluorescent, warm lamps, the glow of a phone face down. The detective asked Aaliyah, "When did she leave?" Aaliyah folded her hands. "Late afternoon?" She said she needed air. We waited. We thought she'd gone home. Detective to Marisol. "Before or after dinner?" Marisol blinked. "Before dinner. No, after lunch. We were, by the fire. She said she'd be right back. I thought—" The detective said to Kayla, "Did she say where she was going?" "No." Kayla didn't blink. "She walked. That's all. Why didn't you call her father?" the detective said to Sierra. Sierra's eyes filled. I thought she just left. I thought she'd be home. Did you try to reach her by phone?" Sierra faltered. I didn't." The detective's pen paused. Why not? Sierra stared at the wood grain like it could swallow her. I don't know. The answers were the same. The times were not. The story held its shape but leaked at the seams. The house had settled into a hollow quiet when Dad scrolled to a contact he avoided unless absolutely necessary. He stared at the name for a long time, then pressed. She answered on the first ring. David, what's going on? Why are you calling me? Is my daughter okay? Nia's mother, Bianca, asked frantically. He swallowed. No. What do you mean, no? She went on a trip with some girls. She texted when they got there. They say she left yesterday. She hasn't come home. Some girls? Bianca asked, her voice struggling to stay steady. Which girls, David? Who are they? Some girls from school. I'm not sure who they are, but... Silence. Then the storm. You let her go? With girls you don't even know? I would never. Her breath clipped into sharp pieces. Where were you? You promised you'd keep her safe. Something inside him cracked. I know. His voice frayed. I know. I should have said no. I'm coming, she said, and he could hear the motion in the words. I'm getting the first flight out of JFK right now. And when my baby is found, and I pray to God she's found for your sake, I will fight for full custody. You don't get to make reckless decisions with my child. He had no defense, only the ache in his chest and the world tilting under his feet. Just get here, he said, choosing not to fight with her about reckless decisions. The line clicked dead. He could have argued with her about making the reckless decision to cheat with her boss, the reckless decision to leave her family, her daughter, and move thousands of miles away to live with her boss simply because he's rich. Instead, he covered his face with both hands and listened to the house breathe around him like a living thing that couldn't help. In Alia's room, night blue shadows cut bars across her walls. She sat on her bed with the curtains drawn, thumb moving fast. Nia's phone glowed in her hand, screen unlocked from a smudge-slicked guess at the code, or dumb luck, or the practiced patience of someone who lives online. She scrolled, recent texts, photos, notes. Her jaw worked, unreadable. She opened a thread, stared at the last messages, then killed the screen and tucked the phone deep into a drawer. Stick to the story, she whispered to the room. She went for a walk. She never came back. Sierra sat on the floor in her room, back against the bed, fists pressed to her eyes. Her phone lay inches away, black as a stone. In Marisol's bathroom, she scrubbed at her hands like there was something on them she could wash off. Kayla stared at her ceiling, eyes dry and wide, like sleep was something that happened to other people. But back in the woods, the shape of a girl lay still among leaves and shadows. Then, there, a faint lift of her ribs, a whisper of frost in the air where breath met cold. Nia's eyes snapped open to a smear of light through the trees. Her head throbbed like fire, every beat of her heart pounding in her skull. When she tried to sit up, the forest tilted sideways and sent her sprawling into wet leaves. Her breath came ragged. She touched the back of her head and winced at the sticky mat of dried blood tangled in her braids. Where am I? She whispered. Nia staggered upright, legs trembling like they didn't belong to her, and lurched toward the shape of her backpack in the underbrush. She dropped to her knees, clawed it open, and dug until her hands found nothing but a notebook, a pen, an empty snack wrapper, and her gratitude journal. No phone. Her chest squeezed. They'd taken it. Of course they had. She stumbled forward through the woods, one hand gripping her side, the other catching tree trunks as the ground pitched uphill, then down. Her breath rasped. Twigs clawed at her jeans. Every few steps, her knees buckled. The forest offered nothing. No voices, no road, no cabin lights, only endless trees. By the time dusk pressed blue shadows across the ground, her body gave out. She slumped against a log, sweat chilling her skin. Her backpack sagged beside her. With trembling hands, she pulled out the journal. Her pen scratched weak across the page. I am grateful to be alive. She paused, swallowed, and wrote again. I would be grateful to see my dad. Again. Tears blurred the ink. She pressed the journal closed, hugged it to her chest, and whispered, Daddy. The word steadied her. Nia tilted her head back. The trees fractured the night sky into slivers of black and silver. A memory stirred, her dad pointing at constellations from their tiny backyard, saying, That one will always guide you north. Even if you're lost. She wiped her face with the heel of her hand. North, she whispered. North will get me out. She shoved the journal back in her pack, hoisted it onto her aching shoulders, and pushed forward into the night. Minutes bled into hours. Hunger clawed her belly. Her throat burned dry. Her head pounded with every step. She followed the stars when she could, shadows when she couldn't. She stumbled over rocks, slid down a ravine, clawed back up with ripped palms. She collapsed under a pine tree and dreamed of her friends' laughter, Jalen's voice, Tiana's silly jokes. She dreamed of her dad's hug. When she woke, she staggered forward again. By the second night, her body was little more than instinct. 1 foot, then another, until the trail dipped and opened into a faint path pressed into the dirt. She collapsed across it, too weak to move, eyes fluttering shut. Back in town, the detectives circled the 4 girls like hawks. Aaliyah sat straight-backed, voice calm. She said she needed air. She walked. We thought she went home. Kayla gave the same story, but clipped, mechanical. Marisol fumbled over details. It was before dinner. No, after lunch. She said. The detective leaned in. Which was it? Marisol's lips quivered. I don't remember. Sierra folded in on herself at the table. When asked why they didn't call Nia's father, her eyes filled. I don't know. I should have. I thought she'd be home. Did she seem upset? Did she say where she was going? No, Sierra whispered. Her hands twisted together under the table. The detective's pen paused. You're sure? Her breath stuttered. She nodded, but her whole body betrayed her. Outside the interview rooms, whispers ran through the station. Their story didn't hold water. The timelines didn't match. They were lying. At the station, Nia's dad sat with his head in his hands, fingers knotted through his hair. Every second he replayed her text, made it safe. We're here. Nia's mom stood rigid by the wall, arms crossed, eyes sharp with fury. This wouldn't have happened if you'd listened to your gut. If you'd told her no. I know. His voice cracked. She seemed so happy to be invited to the weekend. I thought, you gambled with our daughter. Her voice broke for the first time. And now she's gone. He flinched, hollowed out by her words. Meanwhile, back in the forest, unbeknownst to everyone, Nia was about to defy death. The dirt trail stretched empty, but for the small, collapsed shape in the middle. Boots crunched on the dry twigs and leaves, hikers, backpacks rustling. Wait, stop. Do you see that? They ran forward. A hand reached Nia's shoulder. Oh my God, is she alive? Call 911. Back in town, where no one was aware that Nia had been found alive, the interrogations continued. However, the dam was about to break. Sierra sat in the interview room, her face crumpling under the weight of silence. Her mother sat in on the interrogation, refusing to let her daughter be questioned without her. I can't, she whispered to herself. Then louder, "I can't do this anymore." The detective leaned forward. "Do what, Sierra?" Tears spilled. Sierra's hands twisted until her knuckles blanched. The detective's questions pressed harder. "Why didn't you call her father, Sierra? Why didn't you call anyone when she didn't come back? You seem different from the others. I know you are a good person, so why would you not call anyone?" Her lips trembled. Because she didn't just walk off." The detective leaned in. "Go on." Tears broke free. "We fought. She fell. She hit her head and died. It was an accident." The words tumbled out, ragged, unstoppable. "Aaliyah made us leave her in the woods. She told us to say she went for a walk and never came back. It's all lies. All of it." She collapsed into sobs, the dam broken. We're also the ones behind Destiny Carter's catfishing." "What?" her mother yelled. Outside the room, detectives exchanged sharp looks. One yelled, "Get a tech warrant, pull their phones, check the Carter catfishing case." Later that day at the Carter household, Destiny sat trembling as detectives explained. "It wasn't some stranger," the officer said gently. "It was them. Aaliyah and her friends. They created the fake accounts. They sent the messages. Every single one of them." Destiny's mother clutched her close, relief and anger warring in her eyes. Destiny whispered, "Why me?" The officer shook his head. "Sometimes cruelty doesn't need a reason, but it ends here." The fallout came swift. Police cars idled at curbs. Porch lights burned harsh against the night. Marisol was led out sobbing, her mother screaming at the officers, "She's just a child." Kayla walked stiffly, face blank, as if she'd already shut the world out. Sierra, red-eyed, clung to an officer's arm, whispering apologies to no one who could hear. And Aaliyah, she held her chin high, jaw clenched, eyes glittering with defiance. Reporters and news crews swarmed the Gilbert residence. The headline blared across every screen: "Daughter of celebrity attorney Tate Gilbert, arrested in connection with missing schoolgirl Nia Jones." Even as cuffs clicked, she didn't flinch. After all, her father was a top lawyer in the city, and she felt she would be out in no time. As officers led Aaliyah away from her home, Nia's father charged forward. "Where did you bury my daughter? You animal! Why did you kill my daughter?" Police rushed to hold back the grieving father. While the arrests unfolded, the hikers had rushed Nia into a hospital. Doctors worked fast, rehydrating her, scanning her concussion, wrapping her in warmth. The police were called. Just as Aaliyah was pushed into the back of the police car, the charge officer's cell rang. A look of shock and relief spread across his face. He turned and ran to Nia's father. "We found her. She's alive." Nia's father collapsed on the ground. Nia's father never left her side. When she opened her eyes fully for the second time, he whispered, "You came back to me." Her mom hovered behind him, silent tears streaking her cheeks. "Mom?" For once, Bianca didn't argue. She just placed her hand over both of theirs. Nia smiled faintly. "I just wanted to see you both again." Weeks later, in the soft glow of her living room, Nia sat cross-legged on the rug. Jalen, Danny, Malik, and Tiana formed the circle around her, journals in their laps like nothing had changed. But everything had. Jalen bumped her shoulder gently. "You scared us, you know that?" Nia chuckled weakly. "I scared me too." Danny pushed her glasses up. "You don't ever need anyone else. You've got us." Nia opened her journal. Her pen scratched steady now. "I am grateful for friends who never left me. I am grateful for God giving me the strength to come back. I am grateful for the truth." She looked up, smiled at the group. For the first time, She didn't feel like the girl on the outside looking in anymore, wanting what someone else appeared to have. She was exactly where she belonged, and she didn't have to become anyone else but herself. The end. Hey, story lovers! So, what did you think of this one? In this story, I decided to give it a happy ending. But sadly, in real life, there are many cases like this where the ending is anything but happy. If you know a teen who could benefit from a gratitude journal, check out the links in the description to grab one of my gratitude journals for teens. It's a simple but powerful tool that's been proven to help combat teen depression, build confidence, and encourage self-awareness. And until my next upload, thanks for watching, and bye for now.